Hey, good morning, everybody. All right, let's just dive right into it. We are again, like I said, switching over to looking at new crop charts. So this is December corn. Cannot argue with how strong this move has been. Right? You've had some big days where you've had some extreme selling, but no follow through on those days. Plenty of people left there to buy it up. Um, so that's a very strong sign. We're working back up to those highs here in the overnight. Crude's up another $3 a barrel, so getting close to that $100 a barrel again. That's propping everything up again as well. Uh, so yeah, I mean you just can't argue with the action, even though my expectation was that we would start to break this down, and still very possible. We have a big report coming on the 31st that can really shift momentum one way or the other. And obviously, we're bullish walking into it, so that's always a little bit concerning as well. So you just got to be careful here when we're getting back up towards the highs and pay real close attention to closes and what closes are doing. So strong close yesterday, closed back above or stayed above the 5 day. Took that high out last night. Obviously, these highs are going to be resistance: 498.5 here, 498 here. The overnight high so far has been 497. So working up into that area. Would be shocked if it doesn't try to challenge those spots here today. Um, Obviously, plenty of things to pay attention to the downside. You take out this low of the overnight at 493. That is also going to take out the 5 day. And the trouble with markets like this is you really don't know that we're getting into a longer term downtrend until you've really taken out some significant parts of the market here. So really, again, you'd have to drift all the way down to 482 and three quarters versus decent, take that out before you would feel even somewhat comfortable that we have shifted the trend. So you're just gonna have to think about where you're at, where you wanted to be at these levels for this time of the year, and pay attention to closes. Any significant close, even though we've had some of those and gone back up, you really need to be ready to take action if you're going to wait on those, or you just need to be at places like this, set targets, and say, this is good enough for me right here. So support 5 day 493 and a quarter, overnight low 493, resistance highs 498, 498 and a half. Looking for closes above that. You look at a weekly, so this is taking into account the May chart. Would be really significant if we ended up closing above this 200-week average, right? We have not managed to do that in a long time. You look back here all the way to would have been July of 23 since we've actually had a close above that. So that would be a close above 469 and three quarters versus the May on the weekly chart. So that'll be something to really watch today. Where does that May chart close? Anything above that level would be pretty friendly. All right, moving into soybeans. Let's get back to the daily chart here. Continues to see the strength. Did not explode up like I thought it might once we got above this 1153 and three quarters, but we're sitting up 5 today at 1157 and three quarters currently. Just kind of slowly grinding its way up, doing kind of what oil's been doing the last few days as it's climbed back up out of its hole. Looking at resistance here today, not a lot there just because we've gotten above some of these levels. So, let's look at the weekly and see if there's anything more significant here. Maybe this high of 1185 as a place to look at as a target. And then obviously the highs that we've seen at 1185 would have been May. So the highs that we've seen here at 1174 and a quarter versus new crop. Support is going to be the 5 day at 1151 and a quarter. But then again, this is another one of those where we've come up so much that you really don't know that you've broken this short-term trend again until we get below 1133 and three quarters. So pretty significant, about 25-cent drop before you can feel good about knowing you've broken this trend. So again, either just take advantage of it or be very cautious in down moves. But we went back down to the 50 here on the RSI, and we've come back up out of this, so this doesn't look too bad here. Separation here, chance for lingering upside momentum. So acts pretty strong. I can't argue with this, can't argue with the price action. looks pretty good in the short term. The thing you just got to be careful with is this weekly. We did get overbought on the RSI here, so that was a very strong market, much stronger move than what corn did. I do expect that at some point here you're going to fail and come back down towards this trend line. So that would be a significant move for some point in the season. Maybe that doesn't happen until we get past summertime, but something we're going to have to really pay attention to. Okay, watch that close on corn today above 470, 469 and 3/4 versus May. That's going to be the key thing today. So let's watch price action. Everybody have a great day. Thanks. Bye.